JVC have always intrigued me. It was their pocket-sized DV camera that first got me excited about becoming a filmmaker back in the mid-90s. Everyone I know who's had a JVC camera loves the images that they get, so I wanted to find out why one of their latest cameras, the LS300, whilst getting favourable remarks and reviews about its image quality, just isn't getting quite as much attention as other manufacturers. It seems we've all gone rather mad for Sony just now. But anyway. So let's pick up this big bag of love and hate for JVC as I take it upon myself to find out exactly what it is that is both wonderful and, let's just say for the minute, quite possibly awful about the JVC LS300. Now, everyone loves a list, so here is my top 5 specifications on paper that you'll simply love about the LS300. Firstly, it's got a 35mm sensor. Secondly, it shoots HD at 422 and 4K at 420. Thirdly, it's got a 3-stop ND filter. Fourthly, it shoots to affordable SDXC media. And lastly, it also shoots Pro Audio through XLR connections. Now here's my top 5 observations of things about the camera you're probably going to hate. First off, the build quality. Second, the menu system. Thirdly, you can't seem to put histogram and audio meters on at the same time. Fourthly, it's got some very tiny audio dials. And lastly, the build design, the placement of the expanded focus button and the ND wheel in particular. Now, let's take these two polar lists and consider one very important thing. How much would it cost to buy the same spec camera from Sony? Well, bless my soul, the Sony FS5 is approaching double the price of an LS300 and has practically the same specification. Okay, so I said that you would probably hate some of the features on the LS300, but considering the vast price difference between it and, let's say, its most popular competitor, could I not just get over some of these foibles? Let's stay objective and get through my wonderful and awful lists. To start off with, I took the camera out on a gentle walk in the Wiltshire countryside in an attempt to get a bit more familiar with the unit. Okay, I can hear you. I know you're shouting. He hasn't mentioned the fact that it's got an active Micro Four Thirds mount and an APS-C sized Super 35 sensor. So, and indeed yes, as I was about to say before I rudely interrupted myself, the LS300 has an interesting lens mount and sensor combination. My simple answer to all of you is, it works. Period. If, as I did, you put on a full frame or Super 35 lens, then you get 100% coverage. If you stick on a Micro Four Thirds lens, you get 80% coverage, all thanks to JVC's rather clever variable scan mapping, which allows you to crop any vignetting you get from your chosen lens. In HD mode, the camera's mount can utilise lenses down to 43% coverage, so the lens mount choice is very versatile. Going through the menus took a while to get acquainted. I'm positive that icons would have helped orientate users a little quicker here. First off, I set up the camera for picture and sound, and as standard, I wanted both the histogram and audio meters on. And you know what? You can't. Really? Granted, both features are nicely implemented on their own, but for me as a single shooter, having both on simultaneously is imperative. To begin with, I set up to shoot in 4K, and the minimum ISO is 400, so I popped on a 50mm Minolta MD manual lens, set it to about f2, and popped on a variable ND filter, and shot largely with the camera on a set of sticks. In order to keep the images nice when not on the sticks, I worked this puppy under my arm like a Cheshire housewife, holding it tight into me to stabilise each shot. I'm quite comfortable operating like this, however, even with care, I did find it all too easy and commonplace to nudge the ND filter and give my images an instant blackout. Hence the variable ND filter. The camera captured the colourful charm of the spring day, and the standard picture profile did a great job with the highlights and shadows and produced a very clean image. At 80 and 100% coverage, I didn't spot any moire or aliasing either. I couldn't help but feel the addition of a zoom rocker switch was a bit pointless though for most users, or maybe telling of the kind of user JVC had in mind for the camera. Whilst I appreciate that the zoom rocker enables a small zoom function on prime lenses, I'm not sold on that implementation of this function. What I do know is I don't want to use my pinky finger for the expanded focus, which to me should be a priority over a less used rocker switch. With its 35mm sensor, the camera is certainly capable of some shallow depth of field, and as you can see, I had fun isolating the woodland and countryside elements. A few days later, I moved on to the beautiful city of Bath and switched the camera to JVC's flat profile, JLog1. Shooting in the relatively narrow streets, the sunlight casted shadows across the otherwise pale Bath stone buildings, which the flat profile captured in all their tonality. In Final Cut Pro, I found these flat profile shots easy to grade with a LUT utility inside an adjustment layer and just a few minor tweaks. When it came to shooting a piece to camera, I found the audio setup menus straightforward, although the menu system could be streamlined as a whole and would benefit from the screen being better quality, being a touch screen, and being basically of a more robust build quality. That aside, the audio recordings were of high quality.
Hi, I'm Adam Loretz and I'm here again at sunny Corsham Court, where today there's also a fun run going on, so cue the noise.
I should also add that the audio controls on top of the handle have some really small and pretty fiddly dials, which could be hard to get purchase on, especially if you've got hands bigger than these little kitten ticklers of mine. I like the placement of the I/O for the most part, however the rubber seal on the back does hang rather precariously when unsealed. The I/O is useful too. Nice to see an additional 3.5mm external audio input and LANC on the back. Handy for events, studio work or music video where main audio is recorded separately. Or if you want to pass as a holiday maker rather than a filmmaker and shoot rather low key without the top handle and the pro audio. The unit also features SDI and HDMI out at 8-bit and full-size HDMI port, which is great news if you use a monitor. I hooked mine up to an Atomos Shogun and the two synced perfectly. If you're looking to get the highest quality recording out of this unit, you'll need an external recorder where you can get 4K at 422. As for shooting events, the LS300 has some nice features. Obviously you've got long form record, no 30-minute limits here, and 422 in HD to 2 SDXC card slots, and when recording with the supplied battery you can record for hours. It's also got a pre-record function too, allowing you to capture several seconds before you hit the record button. 5 seconds in 4K mode and 15 seconds in HD mode. So, do I like the JVC LS300? In a word, yes. Based on price for image quality and number of pro features, it's probably the best camera out there. Some of the key drawbacks, like the meters and the menu system, can be fixed in firmware, which would make the unit way more user-friendly. For run and gun work, I would probably give this unit a miss and opt for something a little more robust. Even with the audio meters and a histogram, I'd still want a better screen to monitor from. For documentaries, interviews, events and studio work where you could rig it up to a better monitor, I could see the LS300 being a very attractive proposition. Finally, I'd just like to say thank you to Liz and Bill at JVC for loaning me the unit, and to Tom at Atomos and Elliot at Digital Garage for the loan of the Shogun. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please comment below, subscribe to our YouTube channel and to the Filmmakers Workshop on Twitter. And I'll see you next time. Until then, I'm Adam Loretz. Bye for now.